These are 6 strategies that you want to implement immediately in order to maximize your returns on sports cards in 2023. For those new here, my name is Tyler Schwart, and over the past 5 years, I have sold over $1 million in sports cards, predominantly buying, grading, and flipping. I've been here pre-pandemic, during the pandemic, and post-pandemic, and over the past 25 years, I've seen just about every single trend that you can see. So let's jump into the first 6. So first off, you are going to have to learn how to accept the base hits. Long gone are the days where you buy a card for $100, get it graded, and then later on you can sell it for $1,000, let's say 3 to 4 months later. The bull run that attracted you to sports cards is officially over. This is officially a margin game now, and just like baseball, small ball is going to be able to let you win the game. Occasionally, if you are quick and speedy, those base hits can be stretched into doubles and maybe even a couple of triples, but trust me, if you are trying to hit home runs with every single purchase and every single flip, your strikeout rate is going to be incredibly high. Secondly, as it relates to striking out, number 2, absolutely avoid highly speculative releases. As we look back on 2022, what was the most hyped baseball release in 2022? Topps Chrome. What happened to the wax for Topps Chrome? It cratered. Why? Because hashtag Topps. As we move into the new Fanatics environment, the unknown risk for production errors, big players being omitted from checklists held back or SP'd, quality and production issues, overproduction, all of that is at an all-time high. Bottom line, trust nobody. You are assuming all of the risk if you are buying these products at pre-sale. And when wax does finally hit and people start busting and breaking, the highly speculated spingles, whether it be the super short prints, the short prints, the rare color parallels, all of that is at such artificially inflated prices because of speculation. So many people are now involved in sports cards because of speculation. Most of the speculation comes from people who are just getting into the game because they want to grade. So they are paying anything and everything they can to get their hands on the first couple of copies, get those cards graded, and sell them. However, there is downside risk. Even if you get the best player who doesn't suck, like a Julio Rodriguez of 2022, the hottest prospect in baseball, if you buy his best card and that card is graded as a PSA 9 and you bought it at launch day, that card is going to crater as a PSA 9 and you're going to lose a ton of money. So again, that's going back to number 1. Take the base hits. Avoid home runs and avoid highly speculative releases. Third, as we all know, grading companies have succumbed to their greedy ways. So you are going to have to be much more careful with what you submit. In 2022, we saw the biggest crash in grading prices that we have ever seen in the history of sports cards. And that's because in 2021, we saw the largest increase in grading costs that we've ever seen in sports cards. However, despite this crash in 2022, we still are not back to where we need to be, and grading costs are still artificially high. So pre-pandemic prices, whenever we're comparing the cost to grade as it relates to PSA, SGC, and Beckett, we are still at 2 to 3 times the cost to grade cards pre-pandemic. This is incredibly important because single prices are not what they were during the boom. In fact, in many cases, the low end is actually back to pre-pandemic levels. So we are now having to grade cards at a much higher price, but we're not getting the benefit of the explosion in the market that we saw in 2020, late 2019, 2021, etc. Prices are cratering. So now the grading companies are taking a much bigger piece of the pie whenever it comes to resale, meaning that margins are much, much thinner. And because margins are much, much thinner, you and I have to be better. We can't give these greedy companies any more money and any more volume than we need to, which means we have to be better whenever it comes to grading our cards. Fourth, surprise, surprise, EVs for sports card breaking are at an all-time low. Yes, there's entertainment value. Yes, people enjoy breaking wax. But the expected value in return from breaking wax in 2023 has never been lower. Shameless plug, I am going to be building a repack product with a 70% EV value of 100% graded cards as a test to combat this problem. But as it relates to licensed sports cards through all the major leagues, whether it be Topps, Fanatics, Upper Deck, Hoopini. Please be cautious. Smart money that is only interested in profit or ROI or margin has been staying away from wax for a very, very long time. I get it. If you want to collect it, if you want to open it, and there's entertainment value, totally get that. But if you're doing it from an ROI perspective, it has never been a worse time to open wax, buy wax, invest in wax for the sole purposes of ripping. Point number 5. The way that you sell your sports cards in 2023 has never been more important. Those who have subscribed to my channel and watched me over the years have known that my main mechanism and model has been to grade cards and then consign them. For YouTube, I essentially pioneered the concept and popularized it by articulating exactly what I did, how I did it, and showing people the path to consignment. And those who do consign know that the majority of the consignment, most of the consigners will sell their cards via auctions. Not always the case, but for the most part, people are selling your cards starting at 99 cents, and by the end of 7 days, 5 days, etc., whatever the sell price is what you agree to sell that card for via consignment. Why is this a problem? Well, if the market is trading horizontally like it had been doing for the past decade, or even slightly an uptick, such as 2017, 2018, 2019, this is a great way to be safe because essentially there's no speculative bubbles, there's no dips and valleys across the market. Everything is trading very predictable. So if you sell something via auction, you know that you're going to get a pretty predictable rate of return. There's not going to be much variance between the highest price and the lowest price. It's going to be within a much tighter window, and thus you can do this and even potentially project out gains over time because, again, the market is trading horizontally / at an upward pace. And during this time, that is a mechanism to really leverage your time, really begin to snowball your sales because you're having somebody else sell all your inventory for you. You can take all those resources, invest it back into your flipping model, and then it just cascades and cascades and cascades. Those days have come to a halt. Today, if you auction off cards, you are agreeing to and demonstrating a willingness to absolutely take the lowest possible margin, and in some cases even take a loss, even if you've graded the card, compared to the days that we were seeing in late 2019, 2020, and early 2021. My recommendation, absolutely avoid auctioning off your cards at all costs. And that means avoid consignment. And that means all platforms. It doesn't mean if it's a consigner on eBay, Probstein, PC Sports Cards, different platforms like PWSCC, Golden, Heritage. Yes, there are going to be cards that do well during auction. I actually have 14 auctions going on right now as I speak. But if you look at my sales over the past month, 85% of the sales have been via fixed price auctions or buy it nows. And what that means is consignment is not going to be your golden ticket to really cascade and snowball in 2023. You are going to have to put in work. It's going to take time, it's going to take commitment, it's going to take resources, and it's going to take you putting in the work to do something that you may not necessarily have been doing previously, especially if you just got in the hobby in 2020 and 2021 and you've adopted this strategy. You are going to have to start putting in the work. And that leads me to my very, very last point. To make money in cards, you are going to have to put in the work. Over the past 5 years, I've made this model look pretty easy.
Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I led you to believe it was easy when it wasn't.
Now that enough people are doing it, it is now competitive. And it's not easy. And it now requires work. Work as in time, research, dedication, commitment, and an intense understanding of a wide variety of variables and how they influence the market at any given time, any given season, any given sport, and any given product release. Having said all of that, and with those 6 tips, I'm still confident that 2023 is going to be a great year as it relates to sports cards. If you've been in this over the long term, you've probably taken some lumps over the past 2 years, late 2021, all of 2022, and a lot of the downtrends have been really difficult to swallow and go through. The good news is that a lot of the low end, in my opinion, has essentially stabilized and bottomed out. Or at a minimum, it's gotten much closer to a new equilibrium price that is much more sustainable than the boom we all experienced during the 2020 speculative bubble. If you like this, as always, smash the like button. Don't be a rusty cunt out there. Give me some subscribes and keep an eye out for the next one. Peace.